Yeah, I can't hear anyone.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So education pathway for community development. And I'd like to quickly begin with the outline. We have the following things to quickly look at this afternoon. We're going to take our introduction. We're going to look at what education is, quality education, the national policy on education, and my focus will be on the fact that the road not taken. That's a poem by Robert Frost. Those of you who are conversant with literature, you know that The Road Not Taken is a poem written by Robert Frost. We're going to look at the situation in Kaduna, what's currently on ground, and what level is Kaduna currently. We're going to zero in to quickly look at how education can contribute to community development, and look at what's my role, what's your role as youth. Then we'll look at what Tyson we have. Now, this is a statement by the former governor of Kaduna State. He said, education is an aspirational asset and a tool that enables every human to widen their horizon, develop skills, and lift up themselves. He sees education as a leveler because it brings together both the children of the rich and the poor. Okay, once you are in a classroom, you cannot discriminate whether you are from whatever. So it's a leveler and it brings people together from different backgrounds. Now, what in the introduction, I've looked at the fact that education is the go for of the SDGs, and it's one of the most important components of the goals, one of the most important components. And what does it state? It states that the goal of the goal for states that the goal is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. That's just a statement of Go 4 of the SDGs. The focal point is the provision of quality education, and it has to be equitable, and it should come to a point where it's going to be a lifelong process, which will bring everyone to have opportunity of having education. Now, without education, development of every nation is hinged on the capacity of the government, and this must be on the aspect of providing broad-based and quality education to our citizens. And I have noted that the development of a country is commensurate to the level of education of our people. That's why I put art focus. The art focus of every government should be the provision of quality education to our citizens. And it has to be for all citizens. And every nation you see developing today hanged on the neck of provision of education. Now, everyone educated in a country has a stake. Everyone you see that has education or that has been properly educated in a country has come to a point of being a stakeholder in that country. Now, those who are not educated, they have no stakes. Nothing is at stake for them. And when you have no stake in a thing, you can destroy it. So if people in a community are not educated, they have no stake in that community. Hence, they can misbehave, they can destroy the community. They don't care because there's nothing at stake for them. So I have noted here that everyone who has education or that has been educated has a stake, and it is not far from what we are currently experiencing in some part of our country. Because the level of education is quite low, people can destroy, they can do all kinds of things. They go to school, capture school children, and do all kinds of things. It's because there is no stake for them. Now, what is education? What is education? I noted here that education is a process of acquiring knowledge through study or imparting knowledge by way of instructions or other practical procedure. Now, it is acquiring knowledge, very important. But if you look at the second circle, is a gradual process that brings changes in human life and behavior. Now, every form of education must bring people to change in behavior. Change in behavior. Now, if we look at some of us now, if we look at some of our friends who have not been educated, they are going to see very wide margin of difference because we have gone through a process of knowledge. We have gone through a process whereby we have sat and received knowledge. Therefore, there's a change in our behavior. So education must bring people to a point of change behavior. And we are soon going to see what are the various elements of change in behavior. If there is a change in behavior, what should be the granulars? What should be the ingredients of the change in behavior? Types of education include formal, non-formal, and informal. Formal education is what we acquire in the classroom, go to from primary school, move to tertiary institution, and all of that. Informal education is the kind of information we acquire not within the context of the classroom. Okay, you want to learn how to cook, you want to learn how to ride a bicycle, and all. Now the non-formal is the education given to adults. That's a kind of adult education. Now, even though sometimes it shares some affinities with formal education, but non-formal is usually categorized as the education given to adults. My concern is not the typology. Again, my concern is there change in behavior? That's my goal this afternoon. Change in behavior. Change in behavior. And we're going to soon see whether this change in behavior is evidently felt in Nigeria and in Kaduna states. I believe you are following me. If you are following, can I just see a yes? Can I see a yes in the charts? Are you following? Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, let's quickly move to quality education. What should be the focus of quality education? Number one, problem solving. Problem solving. Education is said to be qualitative when it is geared towards education is not broad-based, and we cannot have students thinking towards solving problems if education is not broad-based and not holistic. But the challenge over time in Nigeria is that our education is bookish. And what do I mean? Over time, the focus of education in Nigeria is how we can cram, pass an exam, and probably have a certificate. That's the focus. And so we have many people carrying certificates who cannot provide solutions even to their core subject areas. Okay, so, but we need to move focus. The focus has to change from just acquiring certificates to having broad-based education that is geared towards identifying problems and providing solutions. Actually, serious companies are not looking for people who can carry certificates. I usually say it is no longer about certificate. It is about certificate. What can you do? What problem can you do? What value are you bringing to the table? So, but over time, what we have seen in our parlance is people bearing certificate but cannot provide solution. Again, quality education must bring people to be independent. Okay, it must drive people to become independence of thoughts, independence of how to generate resources, and not just to become a graduate and be depending on the government. Why we say that there are no jobs in Nigeria is because many people are trained to look for jobs. Many people are not being trained to become independent job creators. So we have many people who are trained today who are still beggarly, and they are beggarly because they are bereft of ideas. What can they bring to their community? They lack it because quality education has not been provided for them. Again, quality education must bring people to where they can generate ideas. A properly person should constantly think of problem solving in east distant and remote environments. Okay, graduates, properly trained graduates should be able to birth ideas which will place them or which will place their communities on the path of development, giving birth to ideas which will bring them to developing their communities. Now, I have looked at quality education generally as one, problem solving. Any education that is qualitative must train its students to solve problems, to be independent of government, to not be thinking how I can get job, but how I can create, what can I contribute, not what I can get. Again, our communities have given us so much. Every young man, the community has given so much, and there's a need to also give back. So we should be thinking of what can I give back? How can I contribute? Again, not what I can get, even though what we will get is in the community. And as we get it, we should also think of how we can give back. Then we must be able to generate ideas. It shows that we have quality education. Now, quickly, what is the goal of the Nigeria's national policy on education? I just want to highlight the goals. These are what we have currently. And I have looked at it as the road not taken. The road not taken. And all of us this afternoon will be able to identify what areas have we neglected the road. There's a roadmap. Again, I must note with you, part of the neglect on education is that this policy is long, the revision is long overdue. It was last reviewed in 2013 under His Excellency Nyesom Wike when he was Minister of Education for states, okay? Now, that was the last time it was reviewed. It's supposed to be reviewed every 4 to 5 years, right? So the last time the policy was reviewed was in 2013. So the document I'm going to be using this afternoon is the Policy on Education of 2013, the revised, the 6th edition of 20. Now, what's the first goal of education in Nigeria is to develop individuals into a morally sound, patriotic, and I like you to underline that word, patriotic, to develop every individual into a morally sound, patriotic, and effective citizen. Effective citizen. 2, to train people to be totally integrated into their immediate community, the Nigerian society, and the world at large. Education should bring Nigerians to a point where they can integrate effortlessly into their community, the Nigerian society, and the world at large. As we look at these goals, you may also like to check how effective or what's the extent to which this is being achieved among Nigerian students or Nigerian graduates. Another goal is the provision of equal access to quality educational opportunities for all citizens at all levels of education, with and outside the formal school system. Again, note here, all levels of education, all levels, equal opportunity, and the education should be qualitative. Just extract the current situation of public schools in Nigeria. I don't know what state you are from, but if you are from Kaduna State, just try to look at Kaduna and let's examine what level are we with regards to the provision of quality education at all levels. At all levels. Can you conveniently send your children to public primary schools today? Okay, That's the question. That's one of the questions we would like to answer as we progress. Another important goal of education, as highlighted in the National Policy on Education, is the inculcation of national consciousness, values, and national unity. Okay, we are soon going to ask whether this is being achieved. And finally, it is to develop appropriate skills, mental, physical, and social abilities, and competencies to empower the individual to live in and contribute positively to the society. These are the goals of the policy on education in Nigeria. Is this road taken? Is a rhetorical question that we will need to keep asking. And as we ask these rhetorical questions, I feel that it should spur we young people to taking specific actions. And I'm going to highlight some of the actions that we must begin to take consciously if the situation we currently are in education can be ameliorated. Okay. Now, I put here, with the goals above, we are achieving far below these. One key aspect of this goal is patriotism. Patriotism. Many Nigerians are not committed to Nigeria at all. And if you ask every youth today, or most youths, it is that we are seeking opportunity to do what? To japa. Even if you ask me today and you check my arts properly, I'm not sure whether I don't want to japa, you know. So that's the concern. Our education has not brought us to the point where we are committed to our country. Even if eventually we are able to go abroad, is our commitment still in the well-being of our community, or our desire is just to go and have a good life, make money, and it ends there? And so our education must bring us to the point where we can be patriotic citizens. That's why I said road not taken. Many Nigerians today are not committed to Project Nigeria, and the reasons are not far-fetched. Okay, we will say our leaders are not doing fine, right? Yes, I agree with you. Our leaders are pushing us out. They are not giving us the opportunity, the platform to thrive as young people. Even though we have ideas, we have the energy, we have the tenacity to thrive, but the system has not provided the opportunity for us to. And that's why many people seek today to leave the country. I'm trying to rush so that we can, I don't want to exceed the time given to me, so that we can have ample time to interact. Now, how can we engage education to the development of our community? How is education important to the development of our community? I say education is the most critical foundations for community development. The most, and I am using that word most consciously. Okay, most crucial, most important foundations. Remove education from a people, then what you will have is a chaotic situation. What you will have is to raise generations of people who are violent, who are rebellious. And of course, I've told us, don't educate a person. The person has no stake. And when people have no stake in a thing, they have the tendencies to destroy such things. They can't make good use of such things. So the following areas are what we consider in community development. Now, community helps to build strong and vibrant communities. Strong and vibrant communities. Go to highly educated countries in the world, you're going to find very strong community. Not because of the walls, but because of the quality of people you have in such countries. Quality of people, strong. And I'm going to explain what brings community to have strength and vibrancy. Okay, because the points I'm going to be discussing are interwoven. For you to have a strong community, it must begin with the promotion of social cohesion. I'm in point 2 now. Promotion of social cohesion. When people are in agreement, people can tolerate. Nigeria has well over 250 tribes. Okay, in Kaduna alone, there are about more than 25 tribes in Kaduna state alone. How can we build a state that is vibrant and strong?
Sir, you can go ahead to one.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. How can we build a very strong community? How can we build a strong Kaduna state when there is no social cohesion? And what will bring people to that point is to consciously design curricula, I beg your pardon, that we promote social cohesion, that we bring people to a point where we can tolerate, we can accept the differences of the different nationalities within Kaduna State so that we can build a strong community. If you go to Southern Kaduna today, people are being mauled, people are being killed because of intolerance. The government has not consciously created programs within the education system that can remove this mind of they are not my own. And there are times that even the former governor himself have made statements that does not include other people from other places, okay, especially from Southern Kaduna. Up to tomorrow, people are still being killed. And what's the reasons? Intolerance, the fight for dominance. We don't want to accept these people. They can't occupy our land, okay? But when you build strong community, when you promote social cohesion, we are going to see vibrant people who understand the uniqueness of every tribe and can accept these differences. Okay, they can accept that, oh, this is propensities, this is their predilections, this is their culture, and this is mine. I think I can accept it. Are we still following? Are we still following?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Now, what again can we do in bringing education to develop our community? I said education is a germane tool for building bridges between communities, building bridges. When people are educated, they can negotiate, they can bring their ideas to the table. A community can say, we know this. The other community can say, we know this. Let's bring it together to build bridge. Okay, let's come together to develop our community. This will only happen when broad-based education, when quality education, when holistic education has been provided. Okay, everybody will still be on his own. Okay, the North will not agree with the South. The Easterners will not agree with the Northerners. The Northerners will constantly be in conflict with the Easterners when quality education is not provided, when consciously education is not being used as a tool to foster unity. So education helps to bring about building bridges between communities. I don't want to cite the example of Southern Kaduna again, because in that community, a lot is going on. There are different communities in Southern Kaduna currently, and a lot are going on about fighting, killing, and all of that.
Excuse me, my brother, I'm from that Southern Kaduna. I wish you can use another thing to be given example. Like it's causing something, please.
Right?
Yes.
I am very passionate about what is happening there. That's why I am using, because our focus is Kaduna. So sorry, sir.
You are mentioning something that you don't have full idea of. So let's focus on Abunde Adam, please.
It's all right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. So education, when people are properly educated, it will foster unity. It will foster unity. I believe very strongly. One of the things we are facing currently in our country is because conscious effort has not been made to provide broad-based holistic education that will disabuse the minds of people against the other tribes. Okay, when this happens, there will be unity in the country. It is true that there are other areas of disagreement. I agree. Okay, but education plays a very important role in building bridges. Education also helps to build human capital, okay? It helps people, it builds people to a point where when they are independent, they can provide economic development, okay? It brings people to a point where when they are properly equipped with the skills and knowledge, they can create things that will bring economic development to their community, okay? But when people are not properly educated, it hampers this. Now, finally, education helps to break circle of poverty. It helps to break circle of poverty. People who are educated are able to have opportunities where they can get very good jobs, create jobs, and provide opportunities for other people to thrive in. What is the situation currently in Kaduna State? Kaduna has 23 LGAs. There are 23 local governments in Nigeria and about 8.9 million people. About 8.9 million people currently live in Kaduna. This statistics is 2021 statistics, actually. Then we have 1.5 million, over 1.5 million school children in basic and secondary schools. I am using statistics for only government schools because it is quite difficult getting statistics of private school, but generally within the ambit of what we find in government schools, gotten from Kaduna State Ministry of Education, we have roughly 1.5 million school children, okay? Now we have roughly 25,896 teachers, and they are housed in 5,100 plus schools. If you look at the picture of the school I used, it's a school that the roof is off, windows are off, and you get to some communities in Kaduna State, you find this kind of situation where students sit on the floor, where there are no basic facilities for teaching and learning. Even the environment is not conducive. And you find a situation of having one teacher to about 6 students. That's why somehow the Kaduna State devised a means of having morning and afternoon classes for their secondary school students. So you find some go between 8 and 12, they close, and some other come around 12, 12:30 to around 2 p.m. Around 3 p.m. thereabouts. Okay, that's a means of dealing with the teacher-student ratio. But I must submit to you that the situation of education in our basic and secondary school in Kaduna is quite appalling. You find a more appalling situation in rural areas where teachers are not even willing to go to school. And some teachers posted from the urban centers to these rural areas only go to school once or twice in a week, okay, because they don't want to reside in these rural communities, okay? So the situation is quite appalling. Teachers' truancy, teachers' incompetencies, and that's why the former governor tried to sack teachers a lot of time by giving them proficiency tests and all of that. I was thinking that the governor will first try to provide avenue for training and retraining of teachers, bringing them to par with their counterparts in other areas. But we just see that proficiency test is set, and you want teachers to come and write what they didn't prepare for even. So you find many teachers failing and using that as a basis for sacking teachers, okay? So, but the situation generally in Kaduna State is quite appalling. Now, this is enrollment of students in different course areas in Kaduna State in the last 3 years of 2017, 2018, and 2019. Okay, the source of this data is on open data, and you find that in 2019, we have this level of enrollment for people in education. You have this level of enrollment for education in 2019. Okay. And if you look at it, has consistently grown teachers enrollment. I facilitate for NTI, and I discover that my students, they are not willing to actually learn. They just desire to get certificates. They can do anything you tell them to, just to get the certificate. So their desire is not to acquire the knowledge, but to get the certificates. Okay, and these are the people that teach in these secondary schools, in these primary schools. So what do you expect? The ripple effect on the pupils is quite high, because they are not giving the student what they sufficiently need. So because of that, I decided to take a pause in facilitating for NTI. Apart from other things, which also include the remuneration, because facilitators of NTI, they don't get remuneration for years. The last facilitation I did, that was around October, November last year. I have not been paid till now. So just imagine. So facilitators themselves, they are contributing to the unwillingness of the students in learning, because once they see that as an avenue to make money, the students are willing to pay. And so once they are willing to pay, they just award the marks as they like for CAs. Okay, so the challenge is enormous. I don't want to talk about the budgetary allocation to education, because it is very, very low. It is very low. And until conscious steps are taken to deal with all of these issues, we will still be far from accessing quality education in Nigeria and in Kaduna State. Now, what are my role? What are your role as young people? What are the things we must begin to consciously do to save the situation? Because I believe that the role must be double-pronged. The goal must be to access quality education, and it must not be left in the hand of the government alone. I know that many private schools are trying in that regard, but what can I do? That's a question I should be asking myself now. And I want to spend the next few minutes to talk about what role should young people play in dealing with the paucity of quality education in Nigeria and in Kaduna State. Number one, advocacy. Advocacy. We must not keep quiet. We must not keep quiet. This webinar is quite good, and we hope that we will take it beyond here. We will take it beyond here. We must advocate for quality education. We must keep singing it in songs. We must keep shouting it loud. Everywhere we get to, we must ensure that quality education is the focus. I have told us before that when education is qualitative, people become patriotic. People will have a stake. It will build bridges. The clashes we are seeing here and there will be handled, will be dealt with when people are properly educated. Okay, so we must keep advocating. We must keep holding people who are supposed to provide education to questions. Okay, we must advocate. Number two, I can volunteer. I can volunteer to provide some sort of seminars, trainings. I've got the skills about how to use softwares, okay, in teaching. I can volunteer my skill, okay? And sometimes it is in volunteering that some doors will open for us, right? But when we keep what we are, say it's the role of the government, they must pay me. No, money should not be the focus, okay? Even though it will come, but money should not be the driving force. We can volunteer our time to just go to probably a remote school and provide our skill, okay? Let's volunteer. let's volunteer. As God provides, we can establish a system. We can provide an opportunity for those children within our vicinity to have access to this. Okay, we can establish a system. And sometimes establishing a system may not start big, right? It can start small and graduate. Okay, so we can establish a system. And when we are establishing a system, profit should not be the focus first. Okay, so many times people who open schools, the focus is what they can make, what they can make. Okay, but we must look beyond this. Money will come much later, but we should attempt to establish systems where quality education is fostered with as minimal fee we can take as possible. Okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? I can encourage my friends. I can encourage my peers to get involved. Okay, I can gather some young persons like we have gathered. Let's get involved. Let's get involved. Let's do something. Okay, it is clear to us now that the government is not very willing to provide the kind of education that will bring people to a point where they can be independent. Okay, the kind of education we still have will still bring us to a point of dependence, right? So we can encourage others to get involved in the provision of quality education. We can also ensure teachers are well trained. We can ensure teachers are well trained. Those of us who are teachers, we can go a little mile, acquire a skill, bring it to your school and teach others. Okay, and there may be issues of who are you to come and teach us? What is this we are trying to do? All of those are there, but never mind. There's a goal to pursue, and there will be few that will listen to you and be willing to also build themselves. Okay, so we must ensure teachers are properly trained, and if you have oversight over some teachers, right, you must ensure that they are properly trained, acquire the appropriate skills, so that once they mount their classroom, they can also impart the same to their students. We can support legislations. We can follow what discussions are going on in National Assembly and support legislations on the provisions of quality education. Okay, so the goal is we should not keep quiet. We should not keep quiet. As young people, we have the time, we have the resources, we have the energy to look up some of these things and ensure they are properly given their places. We must share information. We can share information about opportunities for training and workshops. And truly, there are some workshops, there are some trainings that are actually free. I have personally attended and I have gained a lot from some of the free webinars, some of the free trainings I've gotten. Last year, during the strike, I consciously did a training in teaching English as second language. Okay, I just wanted to know more. What methods can I adopt to give more output? What are the skills that I need to be more effective in knowledge delivery? So I did that training. Now, quickly, we'll look at this video and see as we wrap up the goal four. Where is this video? The goal 4 of the SDGs. There's a video. Okay. I like us to see playing. Yeah. So we can make a difference. We can make a difference if we begin to think in the right direction and begin to take necessary actions towards providing quality education in our community. Thank you for listening. Grateful for your time. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if there are questions and discussions. The
Moderator, over to you. You can take it over. Or the panelists, Ivy can take over. Let them ask questions. If there's any question they can ask.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Good afternoon.
Yes, afternoon.
I have stated it in the chats. Any questions, please state your questions. I've dropped it under the chat. If you have any questions to ask, please ask our. Okay. In the absence of
There's a hand. There's a hand.
Ivy, somebody's hand is up.
Okay.
Let him ask.
Ask your question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adamu Abubakar.
Adamu?
Adamu Barde Abubakar.
Okay. What's the question, please?
Okay, mine is not, I have question. I also have 2-3 contributions, but let me start with the question.
Okay.
I've been to this educational system. I'm part of the SEDAT. It is one program that ABU is doing, it Center for Democratic Research and Development Center, SEDAT. So we did one feasibility study concerning this education. Like on this SDGs, one of the major problems we have, especially at the rural areas, is this PTA and SBMC. For instance, the panelists, well done job, sir. You really tried, well done job. But what I'm saying here, man, if you go to like these remote areas, yeah, I'm coming. If you go to these remote areas, you will notice that there are something that was allocated to them. I will speak on both two sides, then I will ask questions. Let me start with the infrastructure development that is providing a conducive environment. Sometimes you will see that with this feasibility study in one school, that in the document they gave us from Subeb, the school has like 13 classes. That is block. They have perimeter fence, they have electricity, they have football pitch and whatsoever. That is on the document that was given to us. When we went to school, we noticed that they only have 6 classes. So 8 classes was not built. And unfortunately, the SBMC and PTA chairman have endorsed the project that it was completed. So, are you with me?
Yeah,
we are following, sir. In a places where you have such cases, you as an SDGs advocate, do you have a right to organize like sensitization program for those SBMC and PTA chairman, being one of the person that came from that community, to highlight them the more about their roles, or our own is only to participate and teach the student alone? Do we really have a role? Can we organize this to sensitize the community leaders, the PTA and SBMC chairman, to know their roles, to know their duties as leaders of that community, and the leadership of that SBMC and PTA to know about all this I've highlighted? This is one of 1,000 we found. Can I do that as an SDGs advocate?
Okay, is that your question, sir?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And I'm glad that you are part of this webinar this afternoon. I'm also glad that you have a place in the current scheme of things. It means you have a stake. You have a stake, and everybody that has a stake will not want the community destroyed. All right. Now,
yeah.
Because there is a stake, we will not keep quiet. You can organize an advocacy awareness program, which will sensitize. You see, sometimes it is not that they really know what they should be doing. When you sensitize them properly and they see the ripple effect of their complacencies, they can wake up to the responsibility on their plates. But again, let's not look away from the Nigerian factor, the Nigerian system, where they will say classes have been built and nothing is on ground. That's a Nigerian factor, which we trust that God will help us eliminate. And I thank God that Oga Barade, you are here. If you have opportunity of being in government tomorrow, you know what is right to do now. You know that when people are not properly educated, there is problem. There is problem. I did a study on Boko Haram, and one of my major findings is that those guys
Hello?
by warped religious teaching. I'm sorry to say this, but that's one of my major findings. My major finding.
No, sorry, let's call a spade a spade. We are trying to find a way out now.
Yes. So if you eventually enter government tomorrow, sir, you have seen the role to play. You have seen that you have opportunity to effect certain changes. And even without being in government, as an individual now, you have people who listen to you. Begin to affect the change from there. Begin the work from there. Okay, but when you now have a larger opportunity to effect the change on a bigger scale, then that will be very good. Now, I also want to bring to us that we can partner with education organization, non-governmental organizations to organize some of the, because we can't go as an individual. We can hide and bring our ideas under NGOs who are already providing advocacy for education. There are a couple of them, even in Kaduna State, right? So we can sell these ideas to them. We can volunteer. Say, I know a community. We can do this. And you begin to write. You can donate your little funds. You can ask people, and you go there. You know, the children will be happy. They will, for the first time, see what education, quality education is like. And some of them will be permanently affected because of that singular action. So we have a lot to do now, okay? And we hope that in the nearest future, we will have bigger platforms to effect change. Now, in my classroom now, if I stand before teachers, I know what to tell them now to foster quality education. No one should pass through my hand without having a test of what quality education is and how to pass it to their own students. Okay, that's what I feel we can do now and you can do now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Please, I want to, hello, can you hear me all?
Yes.
Please, let's on our videos. I want to take a screenshot of all of us that are present now. Thank you. Ed, Ivy. Go ahead with your question, Ivy.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much. There's a question from Tanko Daniel. I think he said the presentation was more on the formal education. So the question now is, in what way can information and non-formal education be of importance to community development?
Okay, informal and non-formal.
He said information. In what
I think
way can information and non-formal education be of importance to community development?
okay, I think he is talking about informal education, where I
Informal,
mentioned
yes.
informal, formal and
Formal.
non-formal. Okay, now all of those are very crucial to. Now I mentioned something about skill, impacting skills to people. Okay, you have learned a skill and you want to impact that. That's a kind of informal education. Okay, you have gathered some people, come and teach them how to make certain things. That will empower them. Okay, and when people are empowered, they won't be depending on the government, right? When people are empowered, they will also further contribute to their communities. Okay, so when you have a skill, please volunteer your skill. The first approach is not first to be looking for how you will make money from the skill. Okay, God has given you, the society has given you a skill. Look for a way of also giving back the skill to your community. You can just gather a few people. You can identify a few persons, gather them, deliver your skills, impact them. Okay, if it is about fun, you can write to some few government officials, say, okay, we want to do this, can you support us? And you can write to some well-meaning people, can you support us? We want to do this. Okay, and you can get some small funds to buy some few things, okay, to impact the skill. So it is not just about the formal, okay, even the informal is also crucial to community development. Non-formal is also important, and we have some of these already going on in some of our communities where adults are being trained to acquire some skill, both literacy and numeracy skills, so that they can at least be able to read and write. Okay, there are a few organizations who are already doing this. Okay, but again, the challenge is those younger ones who should be in school, and they are in school, but they are not getting the right skill sets. Okay, they are not getting the right skill set. There is a lot for us to do in that aspect. There's a lot for us to do in that aspect. That's why I have focused more on the budding generation, the coming generation, okay, than other areas. But that's not to say that non-formal and informal are not important. They are very crucial to the. If you look at the diagram, if you look at the diagram, you will discover that I place them interwovenly. The education types, they are interwoven. They are interwoven. That's to say that all are important to community development. Did you see that? Both the formal, non-formal, and informal, they have a role to play. They have a role to play in bringing about community development. Okay? Those who are acquiring formal education, somehow we acquire the informal, because it's not everything we get within the four walls of the classroom, right? So there are opportunities to further learn and acquire some skills outside the classroom. Okay, so there's a lot to do. Volunteer your skills. You've got something to do, or sorry, you've got a skill, please share with others. Share with others. Let them know that I have this and I can share it with you, and it will help you. It will empower you. Okay, so that's one of the ways I think that we can engage informal and non-formal to community development. Yes, Ms. Ene, you can go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Can I go ahead, sir?
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. So like after this program now, like we are only going to, like for this own school project, I guess we are only going to school once or twice. Is it? So what I'm saying, like you give advice, that we might go and hide under any existing organization that is already giving support to educational system. So assume, like the example I gave you of joining either that said that or whatsoever, like their own they did, they were having like support from MacArthur Foundation and other things like that. So if I fall to such program, so am I still part of this SDGs advocate? Like I should continue or putting it, we all have this linking and other things. So if we fall into that, are we to do that to say we are now doing it as an SDGs program, or like I should use the other name of the organization?
It's a partnership. It's a partnership. Are you following me? It's a partnership. Yes. Everybody has there are skill sets that SDG advocates have that other organizations who are also in education, quality education provision balance have. They have their skills. SDG advocates have theirs. So when you partner, it becomes holistic, and the force will be more formidable. Okay, so there is opportunity to partner, and when we have our own funds, when you have your own funds, you can do it alone. But there are some education organizations who already have existing presence in some places that for you to enter those communities, you have to go through them. So what you do is simply to partner with them. They know the nooks. They have been to those nooks. They have been to those rural areas. And you are coming with fresh ideas. Partner with them. There's nothing wrong in partner, okay? Social organization in collaboration with SDG advocates, So the goal is quality education is important to community development. That's a goal, okay? So we can partner.
So adding more point to one point, sorry, man. Like you said, if I have fun, pray for me to be a rich as the moderator, so that I will sponsor. I will be as rich as Ivy Pretty, so that I will sponsor my own project in my own school. So I want to add more point to what you've mentioned about volunteerism. To be honest, I'm tempted. I'm afraid of the future generation. I went to some school in my locality. From SS1 to 3, they don't have English and math teachers.
Oh.
Which is the priority. Like, English and math is the backbone of Western education. You understand my
so like,
on the issues of this volunteerism, I have to call a meeting of all my like those we graduated in secondary school then, 2008. I called their attention that please let's visit our mother. Let's go to our secondary school. When we went there, when they saw what is there, every one of us has to choose a single day that is sacrificed and give a volunteer to be given support of. So like serious, we must go for this volunteerism. We have no option. These teachers, we are all saying, we don't have teachers. We don't have teachers that can cater all this. Then look at the population and look at the current population we have in our primary and secondary schools. So please, I'm calling the attention. I'm using this opportunity. Those that we are here, please, we should partner with others. Highlight them the more. Let them come out. Especially, let me use, like you've mentioned something before, you've mentioned issues of religion. Especially we Hausas, we must engage ourselves. Like up to now, other people have that belief of saying, like me, my granddad died calling me a missionary because I'm into Western education system. So he called me, like all my friends are calling me the mission because of Western. Like we all have that belief, but by advocacy and other things like that will eradicate all that. So like serious, we must go for the volunteerism. And please, parallels, don't forget to do that prayers for me to be as rich as pretty, so that I will take over program of my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Agadamu.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have other questions coming in? Because we'll be ending this section by 1:30, so we have 10 more minutes to go. Any question, please?
No question. Adamu will still disturb you again. I am Adamu. You have to manage me the way I am. Apart from when we round up on this, Mr. Gideon, I have another project on these SDGs. I think after we finish this, who has interest will engage into that, which I'm able to do. Salamido, we want to do something in northern Nigeria, which is similar to, I've heard that you have one feasibility study of Boko Haram in the north. We want to come up with something we want to start in the north. Like serious, there is issues in the north. It's no longer about religion or ethnicity. We were left behind. North were left behind. We have to come up, we have to unite. Let's start with Kaduna State. We are just answering the name of Kaduna as center of learning. We are not like before. We should come back and answer our name practically. There is issues in Kaduna State. I was born and brought up in Southern Kaduna. I know how the narration is in my zone now. We must come up and fight this, or future generation will not favor us.
All right, sir. No problem, sir. Thank you, sir.
I want to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Dr. Gideon. I think he has really done well with the speech. I really enjoyed the section. It was quite insightful. I really enjoyed it. And also want to thank every one of us that participated in this advocacy. It was really a nice time, right from yesterday till today. In fact, today's zone was just like they say they down the pot is always sweet. Today's zone was so handsome. I really thank you, sir. Thank you for honoring our invitation. And my just to add more tips, as the speaker has said, all of us have a stake in education. So if you know, just leave it at the hands of the government. The government cannot handle it all alone. We can see by ourselves how they've been handling with the economics. So it has not been, they can't handle it all by their own. So if we don't rise up, then the future of the next generation to come will not be certain. There won't be any certainty. There won't be any. Will not be certain. I was privileged to teach in a school one time while I was in Kaduna. I taught in that school. For that just one, could imagine just one student could not solve a simple mathematics question. Not just this question from, how will I say it now? This question like primary 6 question could have solved, could not solve it. And I was baffled. I said, just when you're coming to just one, and this question is more like a revision for primary 6, and you can't solve it. I was really baffled. I have another one again that could not even write her name very well, properly. So these are some of the things we're having. It really hurt me to see children like that. Although me, when I was in school, I also have talent of reading, but I think I started learning how to read properly at primary 4. At primary 4, but my own idea of reading in a class of reading is that a child should know how to read at primary 1 down to primary 2. He should know how to read. Then when he gets to primary 3, he should be able to read perfectly well. So not in primary 4, primary 5, primary 6. So if we don't rise up, we'll keep seeing all these messes happening around us. I pray God will help us in Jesus. Let me leave this many times. If there's anyone that has still more questions, you can still ask.
So mine is no question, but I'm pleading, please. If possible, doctor, please, we need this template that will make this presentation now so that we will learn the more. So that tomorrow, even if we didn't become doctor, we can develop our own template and also present for others.
You will
It's
pay
all
for
right,
it.
sir.
Adamu, you will pay for it.
It's all right.
Okay. Pretty will pay for me. She's the Dangote of the team.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, our co-host. Thank you, Mr. Samuel, our host. Thank you everyone for coming out. Who is your host?
I thought he hosts us and find his way. You know, politicians we used to do that.
Thank you, everyone. I think with this,
All right, sir. Maybe you will share
My
the
hand.
template with me, sir.
Yes, sir.
So maybe you share the template with me so that I can share it to the house because I'm the team lead. So I will share it to the house. So as many that want, you can make requests from me. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you, leader. That is why I say, someone from this advocate, I will take the responsibility of producing posters, but I will not buy form for you.
All right, bye. You can go. Thank you very much. Adam, you still have question?
Mr. Samuel,
Yes.
I'm still owing you. Or is the pretty fair for all members?
No, you have to pay for all members now.
I'm to pay for all members.
Thank you, my leader.
So it's in this house we have team of cabals. You are
the head of the cabal.
Yes, exactly. He's one of them.
Very good. So, Mr. Sam, okay, I will send 5K now.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
So, pretty, you are still owing
Thank
me.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
What? Please.
That one is different.
Am I owing you, sir?
I told you now. I prayed doctor is out before you will say there is money monger in the team.
Doctor is still.
You know. In
the evening later we need to talk about. We will need to meet later in the evening to see about our community project. Yes.
I wanted to go
to leave it tomorrow. Tomorrow, okay, tomorrow. I will post it on the group about our community project. That's the next thing now.
So whatever the Nigerians will need to have that fiscal meeting, Mr. Sam. You know, it's not just about that. I don't want to open some things now.
Take this to the group now. You can log.
Okay, yes, let's take it to the group.
Take it to the group, please. Yeah.
Let's end this one. We can end it now.
You can end it, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You, Mr. Sam, we'll discuss about the other stuff. By God grace.
Okay, no problem.
SDGs at SDGs office yesterday. There is one guy, I will connect you with him, Mr. Sam, and the director of that. So I have some colleague there that we used to do our 1-2 things there. But now this one is reality. I will join you to do this one with them. But my other stuff with them is me and them. It doesn't concern this group and you. Because I don't trust pretty much.
Why? I sure offended you. No, she's a good woman.
Thank you.
All right, now take care. Let's continue